I had a conversation with a close friend of mine that solidified some things for me and confirmed some things for me when it comes to what's next, when it comes to my career. When I was discussing with her just like my career over the last, goodness gracious, 20 years, I'm like, look, I got to do some really cool things. I've been a career coach. I've worked in corporate. I've worked in nonprofit. I've worked in the healthcare sector. I have worked in education. I've been a teacher. I've been a teacher. I've been a trainer. I've been a consultant. I've been a director of programs, managing my own budget. I've done a lot of stuff. I'm exploring what's next, it reminds me of a statement a former professor said to me that almost made me feel bad. But then I thought about it. I was like, no, this is a gift. I remember it was early on in my career. I was looking to transition into a new role. And I asked her to write me a recommendation. Because back then, you had to get recommendations ahead of time because people were always requesting them. And she said, this is like the second or third recommendation I've written for you. What job are you looking for again? Like, you're leaving jobs again? And it stuck with me because I was like, well, what are you saying? Are you saying that I'm a job hopper? Which back in the day looked bad. It like people did not respect you leaving jobs to go to another job. Longevity was what sold. But we're in a different economy. We're in a different time. You being able to move around and do different things is the thing. When we're seeing layoffs and different things happening, people do have to move around. People do have gaps. It's what it is. But what it made me also realize is I'm not like everybody. I'm not your typical employee. I'm someone who desires change, desires challenge, desires when things can shift for me, especially in my career. Me being able to move around and go into different sectors allow me to work in nonprofit, in corporate, in healthcare, in education. I've been able to work with major companies like I've been able to work with major companies like T-Mobile, like Walmart, like Georgia Pacific, Ernst& and Young. I've worked for major institutions. I've partnered with major institutions because I was not willing to just stay in one place and stay there just because it was comfortable. I'm a person who's like, okay, I've done it, been there, done that. I need to move forward and find something else that allows me to grow and thrive. You don't have to stay somewhere because that is the norm. You can move about. That is the beauty of creating your life, creating your lifestyle, and which is what I would do with my clients. I have clients who were working at a nursing home as a dietary aide. One of my favorite client stories. She was working as a dietary aide at a nursing home when I met her. She went from that, as she was a single mom at the time of 2 kids. She went from that to earning her bachelor's and her master's degree, and is now the supervisor in her corporate role at the hospital. She runs her department. That is the stories that I continue to hold on to because it makes me so proud to see when people grow and thrive. So as I'm looking to navigate my next moves in life and in my career, I think about why I was so passionate about career coaching. It was fascinating to watch people go from an entry level role or not really knowing what they wanted to do to finding the most perfect opportunities for themselves. It's out there. Sometimes it takes some finessing and searching, but we are in an economy that you can create, you can design. And what I want my next stint to be is helping people design because that is all what I've been doing. I've been designing my own career in life. I've been designing and creating my opportunities. Some of these opportunities I didn't even know existed until I did research or I sort of fell into it, but I was open to it. And that's the thing I want you to be open because when you continue to think you should go the traditional route, it may not be for you. I'm not a traditional employee. I am someone who comes to the table with so much experience that sometimes people are like, she got to be lying. Ain't no way she's done all these things. I'm like, no. Since the age of 23, when I had my first real job, I've been able to do some fascinating things. Right out of college, I was an office manager within the first 2 months of the job that I had. I was an office assistant and promoted to an office manager. I was running the office and I was only 22 years old. So I'm not your typical employee. I'm not your typical career trajectory person. I literally have done so many amazing things because I didn't let limits to what people thought I should do stop me from doing what I wanted to do.